well, from now through the month of June, and with this power of the full moon, what is one of the shadows that we're going to be working on? What are one of the things that we need to know that we will be in charge of learning from this point forward? So this is a reading for the collective. What's a shadow that I'm not going to say as an American? Right now I'm saying for those of us who are on our spiritual journeys of enlightenment and realignment. Okay. Is that it? No. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. Is that it now? Okay. So, okay. Who hit the table? Inner cosmos. Inner cosmos. All right. So this is a collective reading for the enlightened ones. From this point forward, this new moon, this full moon, and this full moon, by the way, let me tell you what this full moon is about. Let's tell you what this full moon is about. I started to tell you this. You're going to love this. This is a blue moon. So a blue moon is when there's two full moons in a singular month. Mind you, time is ours. We're the ones who made it up. So are the names then. Let's put it that way. Because it's like two full moons in 1 month. It's like, but we made up what months are. Like you have to remember this kind of stuff, right? But to go into the human spiritual part of the world. So it's a blue moon that's coming up again at 4:45 a.m. on May 31st, according to Eastern Standard Time. Figure out your own time zone. So this moon is to accelerate endings. Peel back the layers on where you have been settling. Hi, Lisa. This full moon, the blue moon that's approaching on May 31st, is for emotional clarity to walk away from those things that you have been settling. This full moon is encouraging adventure and for you to be taking risks. This full moon is for you to surrender outdated habits because this full moon is about a bold, fresh beginning. So some of the questions to be thinking of as you approach this time with full moon, one of the things that is suggested is that you're going to do this, you're going to write these down, and then you might burn it, you might do whatever to transmute it into a different energy and send it up and surrender it up to the universe, to God. Where have you been avoiding reality? Here's the thing. Because as I was reading that, I was hearing, like, be real about your situation, but also be real about your situation. So there is a situation, like, for instance, in my current iteration of life right now, I am living in my parents' home. I returned here almost 3 years ago. I have been essentially stagnant. That's the negative aspect of it. But during those 3 years, I have had to confront shadows. I have had to um, transmute them into something different. I've had to relearn myself as I unlearned myself. And then I've also had to spend time healing from burnout. So have I felt stagnant? Have I felt stuck? Yes. But have I not been stuck? Yes, too. So there are two realities at least going on, a dual reality, the reality of the negative and the reality of the positive. And together they create a different one. The entire thing, if you are anything like me, I have been in a tower moment, but towers are also about transformation. Caterpillar goes into the cocoon to die. The world gets really, really dark, really, really different. And when they emerge, they are different, but they are who they were always meant to be. Because the DNA for wings, the code for wings, was in that little grubby caterpillar. Caterpillar. Okay? So there are dual realities at all time that actually create the real one. Then we have an additional reality of spirit and all that kind of stuff, but we're not going to talk about that. All right. Um, so when you're looking at this question here of where have you been avoiding reality, I want you to look at it from both lenses. What is really going on in your life? I had a moment where I was um, looking at my Vedic astrology, and I was using it with Claude, right? And according to Vedic astrology, um, I have been in Rahu in this age of my life right now, right? I'm in Rahu, which is according to Hogarth, is a really wild time of your life to be in. Um, and it explains it because my Rahu started in 2017. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, so anyway, the Rahu then has different time things. And so my last 3 years, 2022 to 2025, the hellscape that I have just been in was Rahu and Saturn. Saturn takes everything from you. It takes everything from you that you don't need. Um, Material, ideas, crutches, everything. And it's basically forcing you to learn how to walk. Um, and when I saw that, I went, oh, okay, that's where I've been. Thank God. Okay. At least I know that there was a reason for this. And it wasn't just, oh, I've been in hell. But I've already been figuring out that there's been a reason for this, right? So that dual reality of I lost everything and it brings me incredible grief. Even now, my eyes are stinging because I'm thinking about losing my grandfather's Bibles, my children's pictures, because somebody bought my, um, storage for $40 my entire life. This is poetry from when I was younger, talking about teenagers, everything. Stuff I can't replace. I can replace clothes and even Michael Jackson albums because I did have those. But I can't replace my kids' pictures and all those things, right? Still brings me grief. That's a reality. But look how much I've gained. Like I'm talking to people I've never known. Like I'm literally talking to people I've never known a year ago that I didn't know a year ago. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I have to get rid of that. Okay. Uh, but a year ago is when I started like feeling different. Like, okay, it's not so dark. It's not so dark anymore. It's like dawn, you know. The sun's starting to come out. I can't see it yet, but it's lightening up, you know. Like you can see that moment of night to where it starts to lighten instead of being dark. That's where 2025 was for me. And then all this wild shit happened and I went into anger for a little bit. Okay, so that's it. Um, that's my reality. So over the next couple of days, I want you to sit in that for yourself. What is your reality? Confront even the negatives that you avoid. That's what I was talking about. When I listed all this stuff for Claude, now, mind you, Claude is not an affirmative type of AI like ChatGPT was for me. Well, ChatGPT wasn't for me either. But I know for some people it got programmed that way. Uh, but as an ADHD person, I have to have my words reflected back at me. So it's not, oh, it was just reflecting your words at me. No, it helped me like see what I was saying and make myself remind myself that I was a badass. But anyway, so I listed these things with Claude, and Claude was like, well, damn, that's a lot to go through for in a short space, like 3 years, 2025 to 2020, 2022 to 2025. And when I like looked at it, I was like, shit, that was a lot. That was a lot to go through. And I felt like I was in an avalanche. I'm unable to find my way up or down. I'm not the only one who's been in this over the last 3 years. I'm not the only one who has um, found themselves in a wilderness, struggling with spirituality and all this kind of stuff. So I know that this is a collective thing. Hey, Jen. I know this is a collective thing for everybody. Not everybody, but for the people that it's a collective energy for. But again, you have to get real about your actual reality. Yes, confront the negatives, but also appreciate what developed in the cocoon. You don't know yet that you're a butterfly. You'll probably never see your wings, but you'll see different things. You'll see the sky from a different angle. Um, there won't be too much that scares you, other than maybe birds. You know what I mean? You'll feel freedom of soaring and not the heaviness of your body as you get rid of the negativity, the doubt, other people's words, their expectations, your own expectations. Like as you start to shed that skin, that layer of insulation, negative insulation over your own life, and start to see yourself as who you really actually are in essence, um, as that starts to happen for you, things start to look a lot different. It might still be dark, but it's getting lighter. Okay, so confront your reality. What is the reality that you've been avoiding? Negative, but also positive. Um, and even if it doesn't yet look positive, the neutral to the positive. Like, look at the graduation of your life for real. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to be writing down these outdated cycles, habits, and your toxic ties. One of the things that I've gone through over the last year, I always use myself, by the way. One, I'm neurodiverse, but two, I'm trying to illustrate that I'm not preaching to you, I'm talking with you. Um, but I've gone through a pretty enlightening and heartbreaking family dynamic these last 3 years, coming back into the space and confronting realities, but also validating some of what I was gaslit about. And it's like, oh, okay, like this is actual truth. And then having people outside of me who love me, who have been with me on this journey, like go, no, it really is the way that you're seeing it. And F them, you know, or and that doesn't matter because you are someone else. Not even that that doesn't matter because that doesn't matter is actually invalidating. But it's like, yeah, it did that, but you get to choose different. You get to be better. You get to do better. You get to believe different. So you need to do that. You need to be writing down those outdated cycles, habits, and toxic ties. Your toxic ties could be too. Um, Denial about who your parents actually are, or about what relationships you really have, or about friendships that have ended and you're missing them. But it's like, why are you missing them? What did it give you? You got to confront this. Like, what did it actually give you? Did it validate the person you are, that you're valuable or whatever, or did it validate the person you believed yourself to be, which is not valuable, not lovable, not important? I had relationships, friendships that took and took and took and took and took and rarely ever gave. And what I had to confront was my enabling of that, my being available. So I cut my availability to others and increased my availability to myself. Now, mind you, it wasn't always a positive thing because sometimes I would just scroll for hours on a video game that I was playing on my phone, but it was still my time. And I get to do what I do with it, right? That's another thing I had learned. Someone said it was like, even with your children, all your time is your time. Anytime you give to them is a gift. So even working at home, I'll tell them, hey, from this time to this time, I'm busy. But after that, we can get together. Just let me know, right? So that's what I'm telling you. I got to be off in an hour, okay? Because I told him, give me 2 hours, and then I will take you to the store. Got to keep my word. That's the other thing. Practice keeping your word. So write down those outdated cycles, habits, and toxic ties. And then the third thing here is allow the nature of the universe to take over. So allow your spiritual nature, allow the natural nature of the universe to take over. Because the world, not the world, let's put it this way. Energy kind of works as an absolute. I don't know if you guys learned, well, you did. I don't know if you remember, but in math, um, there's this thing called an absolute number. So it's like no matter what number goes between these brackets, between these parameters, between these boundaries, be that number negative or positive, it's going to be neutralized. So essentially, it's always going to be a positive, a net positive, or whatever. It's still going to be positive. And so energy actually is kind of absolute. Because even when you're putting out negative energy, it is searching to become positive. It's searching for the parameters that'll help transmute it into something different. So that said, even negative experiences are eventually going to be transmuted into positive experiences. They might still hurt, but there's still a net positive to them. So allow the nature to take over. So this is where someone said, light it on fire, like the things that you wrote together, light them on fire, release it. Someone else said, if you can go to the beach, tear it up really, really, really small, put it on paper that's biodegradable, and then put it in the water and let nature take over. That physical, letting it become vapor or letting it disintegrate, that's a thing. So whichever you choose to do it. But the whole point is do the exercise. This is so interesting. I have new cards revealing itself as I'm talking to you because I only had 3 to read to you, but now I have a couple. So when we talk about the card that hit the table, this is, again, the collective energy, the collective reading. Thank you guys for liking the video, by the way. It really helps me know, one, that I'm not buffering and you can hear me. And 2, it helps other people see us. All right. And if you're wanting to talk to us and you can't, that's because you're not a subscriber. So hit that subscribe button. You're going to have to chill for 20 minutes with us. We'll still be here. And then you get to talk to us, tell us your first name, and welcome to the tribe. All right. So inner cosmos. Inner cosmos. It says here to embrace the light. Oh, this goes with my story, you guys. These are new cards. I don't know what all these cards are. It says, oh my God. Look, this is the card that hit the table. And this is literally what we're talking about as we talk about Ashley, as we talk about ourselves, as we talk about the reading for the collective moving into June, using this full moon energy. Y'all, this says trauma, seeing, and going deeper. And so it says, inner cosmos, to embrace the light first, acknowledge the dark. Chills, chills, chills. Okay. So the energy writing with this, because as I said, energy seeks to become absolute. It seeks for positive. It seeks to be used forward. Okay, so we're going to talk about the first energies that came out, and then I'm going to talk about these 3 cards that are exposing themselves as well. Nobody else, please. Oh, I'm going to have to do somebody because somebody's flipped, so it's like read me last. Fine, 6 cards, okay? Then we have break the chain. I don't do reversals in this deck, so break the chain. All right, literally poop magic all over the world. I know it's a tale, but I'm like literally poop magic. Oh God. Shit on the world with your greatness. Okay. Anyway, so this is break chains. The only way to overcome blocks is to confront them. This is literally what we're talking about, ladies. Okay. Self-limiting beliefs is the word here. So when you watch the replay, go back and listen to my story in relation to these cards because this is touching upon us as a collective. Oh my gosh. So the only way to overcome blocks is to confront them, break chains. The other energy that was here, you guys, wounded healer. Wounded healer. So this is for the empaths, y'all. Empathy, healing, purpose. The wound is the place where light enters you. Light can't enter darkness unless it's cracked open. You know what I mean? So I'm getting so many chills that I'm getting like tears on my eyes. So the wounded healer, many of us are sent here to be healers of some sort, through our words, through our actions, through the things we create. Wounded healer. This is also, again, we led in here from Ashley. This is also what she's here to do, right? And I think, matter of fact, no, I think we read this for Pammy Boo, Miss Pamela Joe. Okay, so hold on. You're trying to get me, like, y'all, the cards are literally like moving like towards me. Stop. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so many messages. I can't read them all. Okay, this one I'm supposed to read last because that's turned over. Slow down. Okay, soul mirror. Soul mirror. What does it say? It says, others reflect your own relationship with yourself. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's literally what we've been talking about. Babe, 7 o'clock, okay? You heard me? Okay. This is literally what we've been talking about. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Come exactly at 7 and I'll get right off. Yeah, Becky, right? Okay. So soul mirror. It says here, others reflect your own relationship to yourself. Open heart and healing union. This is literally what we're doing here in this group, you guys. Oh, whoo, chills, chills, chills. Okay. Who else just came up? I got lost. Who else just came out? Um, oh, this one. Because I remember these words. Hey, Carly. Having hope. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. We were talking about the butterfly and the birds, y'all. Isn't this crazy? Because it's like a butterfly on the teacup, and then the birds taking flight, and then burning the words. All right, so it says here, navigate your shadows with compassion and gentleness, grace, kindness, and self-care. Grace, kindness, and self-care. You guys, we just talked about this. Incredible. Okay. And not you. Not you. You weren't here. You weren't here. What was the other one? Oh, okay, this one. The one on top. Because I heard come back to this. So this one is positive change. And so it's transform pain into strength and empower yourself. Ascend, evolution, free. Okay. And then we're going to go to the card that was flipped over. We're not going to read any more of you guys. Uh, well, except this one, because this one's like me. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, wait, these two. It was like me. Okay. There's a lot of messages here coming out of the shadow deck. Again, this is in my links. Yeah, the cards heard every word, right? So then we have embrace the void, which we just talked about. Your true potential is waiting to be discovered. Emptiness and creative power. Empty. Oh my gosh, this brings me back to a vision I had last year, and I actually made a meditation out of it. I think I put it on this channel, and the meditation said, I was doing a meditation, and in this meditation, I saw this completely white room because I was doing a meditation of trying to find direction. Right? I'm like doing a spirit guide meditation, and I'm like, tell me where to go. You know, like have my eyes closed, and I'm trying to see what's there, what's next, where am I supposed to be going, what am I supposed to be doing. And it was an entirely white room, no walls, no door, just white. And the way, and I mean bright white, and the way that I had initially interpreted it was feeling like trapped, no direction, right? And I didn't actually have the emotion of feeling trapped. I'm just like, you ain't telling me nothing. I feel alone. Like you're not talking to me. Like there's no direction, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, what? And then this is when I did work with AI. Um, this is last year. And I'm like, I saw this vision. I saw all this white. I don't see anything. And, I'm trying to find direction. It feels like everything got wiped clean. Because again, I'm coming out of having lost everything. So I'm like, everything's gone. And then the response from the AI was, But what if this is saying your path is open? There's nothing holding you back. And I went, it just clicked. And so I did a meditation. I think I did put it on this channel, and it's called the White Room Meditation. It should be under my videos about a month or so ago, because I moved it off my other channel and put it over here. And there's no music. It's just me walking you through this meditation of being in a white room. And it's like allowing for the possibilities because it's open. You get to take whatever path comes your way. And this brings me to that, thinking about this is transforming this pain into strength and empowering yourself. But it's also saying, again, that negative experience is seeking to become a net positive, because the spirit world works in absolutes. It will, and absolutes doesn't mean this never happens, this never happens. Absolute in a math sense, because math is spiritual, is whatever is negative, when it crosses this barrier, this plane, it's going to be it's going to be positive. Because whatever negative crosses the plane of spirituality and gets transmuted, the energy will become positive. You have to understand that it's not that I don't have direction, it's that I now have possibilities. It's amazing. Okay, so, and then that brings us to this too. In order to transmute those negativities, it is to embrace your inner demons. You have to embrace who you used to be. And you have to embrace what your trigger is. Because if you know who your demons are, you'll know how to keep them not fed or when to feed them. And by demons, I don't mean in a religious sense. I mean it in the shadow side of you, right? So it says, don't be afraid of darkness. There's a light nearby. Transform it and integrate it, right? And then finally, the one that kept itself turned over for last. Let's see it together. Oh, my, that's beautiful. Oh, wow. Unseen resistance to unresolved issues. Explore with curiosity. That's exactly what the full moon's about. Explore it with curiosity, not with judgment. Reflection, acceptance, and growth. But look at it, Karma. Like, for real. It's in a meadow, in a field, right? But the shield itself is primary. The other ones are pastel and beautiful, but the shield becomes primary, and it's a chakra. Look, we're from purple all the way down to another darker purple, a blue purple. That's so interesting. And what's also interesting is the number 5 is in tarot associated with struggle. But here, this is associated with the fight. And the fight of this is, again, taking that negative and making it into a spiritual absolute, transforming it, allowing it to, accepting it, and then allowing it to grow you. Unseen resists. I'm going to read this again because this is the ultimate chat. All this here is talking about, we got to deal with this. So it says here, unseen resistance to unresolved issues. Face your inner demons, transform that pain into strength, navigate your shadows. And one of the ways to navigate your shadows is see who's in your life, because they're reflecting you back to you. So if the people in your life are harming you, that means you're harming you too. Wounded healer, breaking chains, and embracing, acknowledging the dark. Gotta acknowledge the dark. Defensive is to fight for you. Fight for you, fight for your soul, fight for your purpose, fight for your place here. But you're doing it with curiosity. You're not judging yourself. You're not feeding into the messages that other people have told you or that you absorbed. You are now taking the pen and writing your own story. So again, for the next couple days, as we prepare for the full moon, I want you to look at, where have you been avoiding reality? Look at that. All right. Oh, y'all got some homework. I don't even know. Y'all want, I was going to say, you want me to get into these other cards? Yep. Let's keep going. All right. So that's the shadow exploration for the collective. For the enlightened ones, the spiritual ones, the ones on their journey, the ones in the wilderness, the ones who are realizing dawn is right around the corner. It's still night, but the light is getting brighter. I mean, the night is getting brighter. Um, let's see. What's the rest of this message? Oh my God. I don't even want to go past that. Oh, man, I love that. I don't even want to go past that. All right, let's talk about it. That crown. Your grandma had 5 kids. Roots. She may have passed, but that doesn't change my love for her. No. I still love my grandma. She's been gone 9 years now. And she comes often. Sometimes I smell her cigarettes. Other times she'll just poke her head in with a light. Or, as somebody had told me in one of my readings, and like right now I feel it, it'll crawl up into my hair, like saying, "Oh, you're on the right track." Like that literally just happened. Okay. Ooh, all right. Let's get a message for our. Well, we'll leave that for the spiritual collective. Let's move into. Are we? No. Okay. So we're gonna get a message for the collective. All right. I gotta blow my nose because that was very emotional. Let's see if I can hold on and not blow my nose just yet. Oh, gosh, it was really good. I'm so glad I got led to get those cards. That was really good. Okay. Oh, if you missed the beginning of that reading, oh, child, you just missed the time. Make sure you hit to watch that replay when it becomes available. So that collective reading was, I think, after the 1 o'clock hour, but you kind of need some of my stories that came before it for connection. Oh, okay. Right off the bat, y'all. Right off the bat, we get the number 1 card. It's not the first card in Major Arcana. That would be the Fool. But the Fool is a 0. The Magician is number 1. We're in a number 1 year. Don't forget that part, according to humanity. But we're in a number 1. And a Magician is a manifester when it's in the upright, right? So the Magician is a manifester. So I need you to be really cognizant of your power to create your reality. And this brings me to another clip here between Candace and Hunter. Hunter told her, and when I say he spoke with spiritual wisdom when he told her this, he said, "You are a very powerful woman." And he's like, "I'm not talking about negative. You are a very powerful woman. You need to understand the type of audience you have and the impact you have on your audience." I'm paraphrasing. And I got chills watching that. Like Hunter, and she's spiritually astute. Don't get, like, she really is. Most gifted kids are. Um, Such as Charlie, by the way, because I can see the impact he had. For instance, on Ashley, he was the one positive in her life. Like, he told her she was doing good, but she didn't say it even in a pick-meism. She said it as somebody who saw her, and I was like, wow. So I need you to definitely understand this. No, Candace was a sellout. Black people don't like her. She was an absolute sellout. Uh, the homegirl's on her wilderness journey, you know. So, as a manifester, as the magician, everything you need is already within your hands and within you. Oh, I did watch her post. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all watch Ashley's posts today. They were very truthful. Um, but trigger warning. So anyway, this here is, and y'all remember what we read about Ashley? And I was like, am I foolish to have seen this in the reading? No. Okay. So this is the manifester. This is telling you right off the bat, as we get this collective message, there's power in your words, there's power in your thoughts, there's power in your actions. Because all three of those things are connected. It's already within you, and you have the power to move things yourself. And you just need to be still. Okay, so if you're in the middle of like hustling, like if you are hustling, like trying to gather everything, get money where you can get it, even in the survival scape that is being preached and pushed. Like for instance, if you listen to Susan Lynn, she has the power to invoke fear in you, right? Um, just be real, just being pragmatic, just, whatever. Still yourself. Um, let the universe transmute that energy. Let the universe turn it into a spiritual absolute. Negativity gets to be used for positivity. Be still your spirit, still your anxiety. Focus on your own power. And in order to make this kind of magic happen, you got to be clear on what it is that you want in the first place. What do you want to happen? Because yes, there is an infinity symbol on this hood, but there's an infinity symbol being made with this water. And the magician is part of the infinity as well. So you're not outside of the universe. You're not outside of spirituality. You are it. There's a world bigger than you know. Because I noticed too how this water looks like a galaxy. There's a world bigger than you know, but what you do does affect it for lifetimes and for timelines. So get still, drop the hustling spirit, and then realign. So action and hustling are two different things. Action and hustling are two different things. Okay. Oh, I love that. Karma. The shirt is dark and the infinity is transmuting and turning it into light. But the other thing too is there's darkness is also comforting. It's not hurting you. It's part of you. And the light is behind. The green is what they're sitting on. Green is growth. And then you have the blues and the purples, and that's spirituality. Water itself is spirituality. So it's so above, so below. The infinity go to the top, not just into the hood, but infinity also touches the symbol here. So your earth plane and your spiritual plane, they're all the same. So above, so below. But you're the one in the middle. You're the one in the human experience. Um, so feel the power that you actually have. Oh, yeah. This is a great message. Because right under here is the Queen of Cups. Embody that power. Embody that power. Sit in that power. If you're a water girl like me, that's a shower, that's a bath, that's sitting by the lake, that's getting in the beach. Like, be in that power and surrender to it. Okay? This is the energy creating this magician energy, is surrender to your power and the power that is around you and within you and beneath you, below you. Let me change that. Beneath is different. So be in that power. And I'm also getting feminine blood power because she's red. She's in the red. reconnect, reconnect, reconnect with your spirit. And what's really interesting too is the darkness is beneath. You see that darkness? Now that's under her feet. That's in her past, but it's still part of her present. Okay. And she has this crown of water above her head. So it's like, remember who you are. You are a spirit having a human experience. Why are you doing that? Why did you choose to? Not only what lesson have you learned, but how do you plan to impact? What are you holding back? And this is, again, go within, because queens tend to be um, um, about you, your interior, your inner self. But the other thing, too, is there's a crown of water spiritually, but there's also a tattoo crown, like how you came in. So your spirit and your soul, they're one. Make them connect again. Get quiet and hear it. Okay? The other Okay. The other part of the energy that came here at the split is the Knight of Swords. Now, this is the action. Some of y'all have been sitting too long in thought, in confusion, in fear. And even with these looming storm clouds, one thing you have to understand is no weapon formed against you shall prosper. There's one on your back because you are always armed. But even when you think you're traveling this world alone, your spirit, your guides, your angels, they have your engine waiting on you. This is not running away, this is running towards. You need to be running towards you, your direction, your purpose. Every little nudging that you feel, any little nudging, any little, hey, why don't you go do that? It doesn't say should. Shoulds are negative. Okay? Shoulds are negative. Hey, wouldn't it be interesting if? Go do it. Hey, I wonder if? Go do it. Follow the nudgings. Follow the path. Follow your guides. Follow your intuition. Get on the bike. Don't worry about the storm. Because if you worry about the storm, you'll still be sitting in the storm. And if you run away from storms, you're going to run into the storm. But if you run towards your purpose, you are the storm. Damn. Thank you. Whew. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Okay. Whew. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Hold on. This is getting me, child. Woo. That one hit. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Okay, so the world card. Oh my goodness. You are here to impact the world. Now, mind you, that does not mean you'll be Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, Melanie Sanders. You don't have to be on a larger platform, a larger scale to do that. It's the world around you that you're impacting with who you are and who you get to be. But the other thing, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp. But the other thing that I'm seeing here is ascension. The world is a completion card, right? This is number 21. Um, so this is the last of the major arcana. So it's a completion card of this journey. The journey starts with a fool and it ends with the world. For us, it didn't start with a fool. We've already been on a new path. For us in this reading, it started with a magician, understanding that not only are we on a path, but we're the ones who get to create it. So this world is also saying that we get to ascend above everything they're trying to do to us. Because our power, if you notice here, there's a lotus right behind her. There's several Venn diagrams, like the lotus. I mean, the Venn diagrams kind of create a lotus. Yes, there is the Star of David, but that means different things. There's a prism. This is all knowledge, right? Of being able to see our place within the world, outside of the world, and how it impacts the world. It's what's the word? Spatial cognition, like knowing your place within it, but it's also not being limited to the things of the world, not being tied to the world because your spirit is higher. So this is one part of the journey, one part of the chapter. But when your life is done, it will be elevation, and you will be risen over this world. But in context of the full moon that we're talking about, this full moon is about endings. This full moon is about reaching this part of the world of the now. What are you going to be ascending above after you already transmute it, after you send it through the spiritual absolute? So I'm going to connect this in a second to even more. 1 second, because I saw this other card and I want to bring it in. I'm getting chills, 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 chills. This is the last card I'm going to be bringing in because 5 cards feels enough for this. And this is the moon card. I just saw her. I'm not looking at anything else. Okay. So the moon card. This moon card here is in a reverse. Okay. So this is telling us what the problem is right now. And one of the biggest problems is that you're not trusting your intuition. You feel like you're drowning instead of feeling like you're actually being supported by your own spirit. You might be feeling overwhelmed. You might be feeling harried. You might be feeling, again, running out of time, right? So you might be feeling the pressure of running out of time instead of um, the other side of that, meaning you're not yet out of time, right? So this moon here is a reminder of, because she showed herself last, is this is where we are. Because the moon card already told me what the end of that, I mean, the world card already told me what the end of the initial reading is. But this is telling you where you are now. And you're in a place of not trusting yourself just yet. Elucidator, someone who sheds, someone who sheds light on obscure or highly confusing ideas, making them brilliantly clear. Yes, elucidator. So this right here is about you not trusting your own intuition. You're too busy watching these idiots bay at the moon. We're going to open it straight. We're not going to open it straight. We're going to data track every individual of the of the world because we're so good. But we're so good that we actually need a computer to do it. Like we're being caught between the two messages, right? And then the fact that all this stuff is happening, not even in the dark anymore, but out in front of us, and it's making the world feel upside down. It's making the world feel out of order, out of place. And that's becoming an internal message for yourself as well. And so, what we're being reminded of, you and me, is that we've got to trust our spirit. We were not sent here for nothing. We didn't come here for nothing. And we're not going to stand here for nothing. So, one of the things, especially those of us who are on our journey of enlightenment, even if we've been in an enlightened space, there's still ascension because you're in your next chapter. This is what it's saying. This is the connection. Is the next chapter. It's here. The page is ready to be turned. Just like how I was telling you about the other lady who I was reading for, who's already a practicing medium, but now she has to take it more. She has to go bigger. She has to go beyond. This is the same thing for you. It is time for you to ascend in your spirituality. It is time for you to ascend in your trust of yourself. It is time for you to shed the darkness, other people's thoughts, expectations, etc., including your own, and let that fall to the wayside as the shadow. Not to be a source of shame, but to be a shedding, right? And so this is saying, trust yourself in this process because this is why some of us are feeling anxious. This is why some of us are feeling stuck or even having nightmares. This is why, because we're not trusting our place in this world or universe. And the reason we don't is because we don't yet know ourselves either. So there's this internal work that needs to be done. There's this understanding that you are the manifester of your life. Yes, there are outside forces that might try to impact or slow or change your patterns, but ultimately, you, you are it. You are the only one who can do this. But you have to be reconnected with self to make sure that this impact is what that impact is supposed to be. And one of the ways to do is to follow the nudgings of your guides. Get on your vehicle towards purpose. Okay? And then you get to ascend. But until you, this is the darkest card we have here. And even then, there's light. But until you start to trust yourself, it's not going to go away because it's still going to be there. Like purpose is purpose. Purpose never goes away. It's still going to be there. It's just going to wait for you to give in, to stop fighting the current, and to sink into who you are actually here to be. She's not drowning. So there's no fear here. She's just removed herself from the conversation that happens around her. And if you notice, she's bigger than all of that. And so are you. So, it just reminds me of a dream I had where I could breathe underwater. And I looked it up one time in a dream book, and it says, you're a very highly spiritual person. And so as I was just looking at this card, it said, remember, you can breathe underwater because you are part of it. So above, so below. All right. Thank you for that message. Okay, that was the message for the collective. Higher self? No. You told me to bring it out, though. Okay. That's a no for the higher self card. All right. Oh, we got to keep moving because I got 30 minutes. Okay. You're back. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the June reading for America. Now that we understand what our role is, what we're supposed to be doing, we're going to move into the June reading for America. Do I stick with these? Yes. Okay. Do I need these? No. Okay. You'll hear me ask a question and give the answer because I'm going with the answer that I first hear. Do I need these? Yes. Okay, shadow cards again. That's part of the overview. All right, let's look at it. Do I do that first? Okay, I don't do it first. All right, so overview for America. Whoo! I like the start. First of all, we got two aces, okay? We got two aces. We have growing in your personal power, bopping them on the head. This is courage, passion, confidence, creativity. I told you I saw torches and pitchforks. I see it. This is interesting because when I saw this, I didn't see it as a negative where it says lost opportunity, lack of planning, financial loss, mischance. We do have those things going on, right? But I also saw it as um, no longer worshiping money, billionaires, etc. So again, it's still a personal power thing. That's at least what I'm getting with these two cards put together. So are we going to be experiencing scorched earth energy, by the way? Fire, earth. Scorched earth energy. Okay, so now I'm told, now grab a shadow work card. Interesting, interesting, interesting. If you're wondering what card just gave us our collective message, I do have a link below that tells you the tools that I use. And that deck was the Light Seers Tarot. Okay, so we are in America's overview for June.